Right.
Did you put a link in the
Right. One sec, guys. Three,
oh, no, no,
two,
no, 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 no.
one. Right. We're live. We're back. It's Sunday. Now, this is an important one we're doing this week. It's close to many of our hearts. Now, one of the things we need to know about tool theft, it doesn't just affect those who've had their tools stolen. It affects those with tools. Even if you're going into the cafe for breakfast and stuff, you've got to think about your tools getting robbed out the back of your van. But we're going to get into that in a sec with two of the founders of the Trades United tool movement. Now, we're going to get into that in just a sec. Got to do a bit of housekeeping real quick. Now, the one and only Navitas, the fuse boards that I say are pound for pound the best fuse boards out there. Will, our good friend Will, has dropped a promo. Use ESK20 for your discount, and you will be entitled to the Navitas 12MX bundle, designed with both performance and convenience in mind. The 12MX bundle is a complete solution for the modern electrical installations. Here's what's included: one of our most popular consumer units, 10 usable ways. Type 2 Hybrid SPD for superior surge protection. 5 single pole Type A tool RCBOs, fully customizable to your specific needs. Listen, that's long. In the show notes, all the details are in the show notes. Go and click through. Use promo code ESK20 and get you some Navitas. Boom, we're out. Now, lads, we've got the gas expert and SB multi trade. Let's take it back to the beginning, lads. You are here to talk about tool theft, how it's affected us, and what you guys are setting out to do to fight back against this nonsense that's currently going on at the moment. Um, what's your names and where do we start?
Just want to start one thing.
Go on,
Schweb
boss.
he's the founder.
Go on.
He's the main man. So I'll let Schweb, you go first, mate. You tuck in.
Right, let's start then. So, my name is Schwab, I'm a gas engineer based in Essex. I was a victim of tool theft a few years ago. I lost everything. It was £8,500 that I lost, and it was in a matter of minutes. This is during the day while you're at work. So, I started a petition in June about tool theft, and it was about car boot sales selling secondhand goods. That's where it all started, and we got 46,500 signatures in 6 weeks. That was pretty well. Everyone got involved. Then we did a rally in Parliament Square on the 3rd of June. Unfortunate thing was there was no government in place. Parliament was in limbo, and the petition got cancelled. So we really went out, made some noise because we know it's the same faces that we're watching it. So it's been 8 months since, and tool theft, as you know, it's just getting out of control. It's not only tools that are getting stolen. If you think about it, it's livelihoods. That's the main thing, and something needs to be done. So we are going out tomorrow, 3rd of February, again in Parliament Square, much bigger, much more noisier, and yeah, it's going to be a spectacle.
Now it's a massive thing. Like I always took it a little bit for granted. Um, I haven't had my tools done. I've been quite lax with it, and then boom, 2 weeks ago got done, and it is devastating when it happens. You literally don't know what you're going to do with everything. Um, like like even today, like so mine got robbed a couple of weeks ago. Had some very nice people send me some bits and pieces. I still haven't got a full complement of tools, and I'm still buying stuff now and thinking like just little bits that you've just
Mm.
collected up. Like when I
And
got
it's stuff
done,
that you realise, yeah, it's stuff that you
it's
realise that's gone missing as well, which you never thought of at the time. And you go for it and you think, shit, they took that as well, and they took that as well. And you don't
everything.
realise,
And you don't
people don't
notice until
realise.
about a week later and all when you go, oh, I'll get that, and you go, oh
You ain't
no,
got it.
like,
No, I had that the other day with hole saws for cutting out light spotlights and that. I had a whole load of them. I had to go out and buy a new arbor and a new 64 mil hole saw, and you're just like, I had every single one of these, and like a new arbor's like 15 quid, and you're
I was
just
gonna
like,
say Harbour's the core cutting bits and stuff. They're not cheap at all, are
it's
they?
just
Like,
nonsense. But let's just get into you for a sec. What's your deal in this whole situation, mate?
Me or Schweb?
Yeah,
Me,
you.
me. All right, so I'm Stephen. Got a company called SB Multi Trade. We are general multi trader builders in Hertfordshire. Um, I so 2 years ago I had my van done. I've been fortunate enough; I've only had it ever done once. Um, I was going through a lot of rocky times in life, quite low as it was, and then the van got turned over. So everything you'd learned, everything you would ever worked for in 13 years just disappeared. So it got me quite in a depressive state. My tool insurance wouldn't pay out because I was in a hire van, not my actual work van, because it was getting repaired. So the cover was only on that van, not the hire van that I was using. It got me in a low state. I nearly took my own life. But then I was quite fortunate enough. I got a phone call from Southampton Police Station, and they said to me that we've recovered your tools. We've raided Denham car boot sale. It was, and some guy had his tools stolen as well, and he had an Apple AirTag and his chop saw. And they
Nice.
traced it back. But then because the area was all linked to where his tools were stolen, my tools were there. So I zipped down to Southampton Police Station. I done a little shout out on fixed radio. I was like, yeah, we'll get my tools back, da da da. Got down there and they'd scratched all the serial codes off. So all the receipts, proof of purchase, everything I had to prove them tools were mine, they couldn't give them back because there was no way of identifying it. So then on my way home, I was like, phone up fixed radio. I was like, do not boot that presentation, da 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 da. And then it turned out they already did. And then through Fix Foundation and stuff like that, they actually helped me out and gave me a load of tools back, basically. There's a whole video on YouTube about it with the ball builders. But from that, it sort of led into Trades United. That's when I started seeing Schweb's, the gas expert. I see his petitions that he'd done. So we signed it, we stood behind him, da da da. And then he mentioned obviously protests, and then we jumped in and we've just followed it from the start. From when he'd done the first petition, from when it started going on, we've just been standing right beside him. I wouldn't even say we're behind him. We are beside him. We are doing everything we can to make this a massive difference for everyone else. Does that make sense? I wouldn't sit here and say we are a founder because we're not. I would just say, like to say, we're part of the team that are getting this going further, basically. So it's just led on and on and on, and we're here where we are today. And tomorrow I think we're going to make some noise, Web. Do you reckon? Just like a little bit of noise. I don't think it's going to be loud, but it may be.
They probably won't hear.
It may be.
They won't notice it.
I mean, the drill horn I've got is 200 decibels, and you see that from the last time. It's a train horn on a DeWalt drill. I may have accidentally fitted one this morning on the truck as well at the same time. So now we're quite, we'll just be a little bit loud.
Web, how did you come up with this idea? Like, so obviously you've done the petition. What was the petition asking for, like in the first iteration?
It was about banning the sale of used power tools at the car boot sales and issuing fines to the organisers. Because the way I saw it, I knew for a fact that the government probably won't do anything about it.
No.
There's not enough police around it. Police, again, have got priorities. Tool theft is probably right down the list, which is basically they've got knife crime. They've got so much to deal with. And then tool theft would probably be one of the ones at the bottom. So I thought of a way where they can do something about it. And I said, issue the organisers fines, because these are the people that are letting these tool thieves giving them a spot to go and sell this stuff, which is why with car boot sales, as you know, you go in there, you don't have to show your ID, you don't have to show your registration, you don't have to show them anything at all. All you've got to do is show them a £10 note. You can go in there, you put your tarpaulin on the floor, and you can throw as much tools as you want over there and just get rid of them. And I've seen the same faces, because car boot sales only used to be a Sunday thing. Now it's 7 days a week. Every
That's
area
right.
you'll find a car boot sale. So it's the same people. They've made a nice round. So there'll be one car boot sale on a Monday. On a Tuesday, they'll move into Bonza. On Thursday, they'll be at Denham. Friday, Sunday, they'll again be at Willow Farm. So they've got a nice route that they just follow every week. It's the same, because I've visited all these car boot sales and I saw the same vans, the same faces, covering up the number plates. and selling power tools. So now my question is, tradespeople don't sell their tools. Where's all this endless supply coming from? That's the first question. Second of all, I asked the government, why is there no regulations when it comes to a car boot sale? So you can literally sell anything. It's not just tools that they sell there, everything, counterfeit, perfumes, goods, everything fake that you find it there. Our local Boots doesn't even put shampoo on the shelf anymore. They've got a ticket that you've got to take to the counter to get your shampoo.
Listen to this. Stolen. Allegedly, right? I was at a car boot sale down in Herne Bay, and I saw this torch, and instantly I knew what it was. I was like, how much is that? And he was like, oh, it's 15 quid. It was a taser torch, allegedly. They sell everything at car boot sales. The other week, right, and this is not even a lie, like last year, there's a lady selling an AK-47 decommissioned one at car boot sale. I was like, how much is that? She's like, 700 quid. I was like, at a car boot sale, good luck. Like, if it was like 200 quid, I might have been interested. But like the stuff they sell at car boot sales, like you say, it's completely unregulated.
It's not
Honestly,
even a car boot sale
is.
no more, is it? It's more of a market. Remember, years ago, I remember as a kid, the car boot sale, you'd ever wander around with your mum or your dad or whatever. And bloody, I know we're going on now, but do you know what I mean? Your mum would give you £1, your dad would give you £1. You'd go and smack. You'd come back with black bags full, wouldn't you? Like, and your mum would have a go at you, going, "What's the load of that?" You know what I mean? Like, she'd go mad. But you look at it now. If you go into it again, it's like a market. There's brand new snide this, brand new snide that. There's this, and then a lot of the stolen stuff. And again, like Shrev said, this is where it's one of the main issues, because it's not only just there with the power tools being stolen. There's also cash converters, stuff like that are also taking in these stolen tools. And we looked at it, didn't we, Shrev? You showed me, in fact. It was you that showed me it. You said, just go on Cash Converter's website and type in DeWalt, type in Makita.
Oh, for sure.
You can't get to the bottom of that page. Like, you can't get to the bottom of how many are there. And like Shrev says, where are these tools all coming from? Now, I went to a few car boot sales, and one of them, we contacted the police because there were numbers of guys selling them. Again, number plates covered up, not wanting you to record. Multiple of the same tool, which is like, it's not just the odd Jack who used to do a bit of handyman work selling a few drills and stuff like that. There is like multiple 30, 50 bloody combi drills and stuff like that. So when we contacted the police turned up and they said, have you got a proof of purchase? Now they're printing out bloody receipts that are saying 60, 70 malicious tools. You can't, it's a receipt, it says tools, there's your tools. You can't, there is no way around it.
See, this is the thing. I think sometimes the police just like to be a little bit lazy. Like, can you imagine? No, I disagree. I'm not a fan of the police when it comes to this sort of stuff. They're not trying to help us. They're trying to be like, oh, technically we can, technically we can't. I don't see them helping.
No, so the issue we've got with the police here, it's not so much the police not doing the work. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The issue we've got is identifying. The problem is with laws, you've got to prove it, yeah? So you've got to identify that that tool is stolen. Now, if there is no markings, no moldings in it, like some people use a solder gun and mark a few initials or a postcode into it or whatever, if there is none of that on that tool, then the police can't really sit there and go, yeah, it's stolen, because there's no evidence behind it. But then I also do agree, not agree, I do understand where you come from with, obviously, like, you don't like the police, or it's not that you don't like the police.
I don't like the police. Without police, society would fail tomorrow.
But then this is where it comes into as well, is Select DNA, a product that Schweber's helped create, and a product that can make your tools identifiable, which then makes the police's work even easier to identify a stolen tool, which means then arrest can actually be happening. Instead of them just going, there's a receipt for 50 malicious tools, you're going to say, well, hang on, mate, like, you got a load of stolen nick there, like, it's actually registered to someone, da-da-da. So it's a hard one, isn't it, Shweb?
So Shweb, what is Select DNA?
It's a forensic marking system. So what it is, it's got little tiny DNA things inside the liquid that you put on your tools. it's literally impossible to remove. And if once you get it into the tools, like all the nooks and little crannies that you got in the tools, there's no way that's coming off. It's got small fragments in there that under a microscope will show you your registration number. It's that small. I've actually got one here. That's a little microscope that the police have. And
I was going to say, do you want me? I've got a pack.
Police.
Should I get the pack out quick? To show you the
Yeah, if you
pack.
can.
2 seconds.
Yeah. So that marking system is linked with the police. So instantly, on the spot, they can tell you who that tool belongs to. So if they were to go to a car boot sale and they see 100 tools there, as soon as they shine the UV light on it, it literally shows you all the tools that are marked. They could pick up a couple of them, even one of them. If the name's on there, they can contact you straight away, say, did you sell this to this individual? And if it answers a no, it is a handling of stolen goods conviction. So, they can arrest them on that basis.
See, that's amazing.
It's an amazing product. It's been around for 30 years. It's not new. A lot of people know about the stuff now because I've raised so much awareness around it when it comes to power tools. I think we've done a few events with the police, and I think we have marked over 100,000 tools by now.
Wow. So you're really into this. This is like, you've really immersed yourself in this. How long have you been?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Select DNA. So who makes that?
What's the camera? I'm just going to be your little girl that demonstrates how it works. You know what I mean? you tell me what it is, mate. Go on.
Who makes that smart?
The company it's a company called Selector Mark. They've been around for a while. That is one of their products. They've got so many different ranges of products. I mean, some of their products, like you can get this kit that's mounted inside your van. So if they were to break into your van, it literally sprays you. That liquid doesn't come off your skin for 30 days.
So I suppose it's like, unfortunately, it's on us to protect our own tools in this way. Like a lot of people moan about manufacturers making it too easy to break into the motors and stuff like that.
Let me get to that first question.
Yeah,
one second. Before you said the manufacturer, everyone's moaning about the manufacturers not making vans that are good. Look, Ford make vans for over 100 countries. Ford is everywhere, right? No one's got a problem. It's us that have got the problem. They're not breaking into their vans. Why should they upgrade, make the vans more expensive, change their whole plant just to get for one UK market, and then we complain about them? This is what I'm saying. The laws have to be strong enough. People should not be breaking into vans. That is what it should be. I don't see that happening everywhere. Anyway, this has become so bad with theft. Look, vans are getting broken into, bikes are getting stolen, watches are getting stolen, mobile phones are getting snatched. People are jumping over counters in Tesco's, nicking things. Amazon delivery drivers, they're attacking those, taking on DPDs in trouble because of all these thefts. I mean, theft's a massive issue here. This needs to stop because there's no deterrent. There's no penalties for them. They think they get away with it. Nothing happens. We've got school kids running into Apple Store and clearing out Apple stores. What is going on? Because it's got to that. It's become a culture in this country. Theft is seen as normal for the government. It's got to stop. It affects everyone financially and mentally. It can't carry on.
Yeah, I mean, what are the stats around tool theft at the moment? Have you got any
Well, the most recent one is the 2023 figures. The 24 ones haven't been released yet. In 2023, 46,500 reported tool theft cases from vans. Now, let me tell you, convictions were, I think, around the 6 or 7 mark. That's it. The rest of them are still around. There's no tool marking, nothing. Police don't know who it belongs to. And guess what happens? They have to hand it back to them.
So really, it's on us to find some way, like you say, with this smart DNA system, to start taking a little bit more accountability for our tools, finding a way to make them trackable. So when they do go missing, if they do crop up, the police do find them, then you've got some sort of retaliation. Because if you just go and buy serial numbers and receipts, that's not enough.
No, it's not about a question of if they find them. Trust me, they do find them. I've been to the police compound and I have seen millions of pounds worth of tools sitting there.
Wow.
That they've confiscated. They can't return them to everyone. No markings on them. All we see on them is names written like Tom, Dave, just with markers. Now, all right,
how many Toms and how many Daves are there in it?
Yeah.
But this is the thing. That is okay for sight. because you're working on site, you know it belongs to, fair enough, but there is no proof who Dave is, who it belongs to. You will never see that tool again. And what happens from that compound where all the tools are sitting there in crates full of tools, expensive stuff, it's all going to end up in the auction. And some wrong people buy the stuff off the auction, sell it onto these car boot sale people. So when the police do visit them, they show them a receipt that says mixed pallet of tools. That is the description.
Wow.
And that receipt is then reused over and over and over the whole year. They'll carry on breaking in your vans. They'll top up their tools. Police can't say nothing when the prescription says mixed pallet of tools. How long did it take them to sell these tools? 10 years probably, because they bought a pallet. And it's a part of the problem. It's a part of the problem we're trying to stop. We're telling the police as well, destroy them, do what you need to, give it back to people that have got broken into, help them out. Why are you selling it? But again, you've got to understand, because they can't return it to you. They've got storage costs. They've got their own costs. They auction it out because they've got to clear up. When I went to there was tools sitting there in crates from 2018 with a big label on it, 2018 lot. We're in 25 now. So they're still sitting there. They cannot give it to people because there's so much laws around pat testing. What if somebody gets hurt using that tool? So they've got to think about 20 other things before they give it out. It's just the whole system is rubbish. It's just crap. But I've seen it all. I know too much about this. And as I said, if they really want to stop this, first of all, they need to look at the car boot sale. There's how many of them are in the country? 50 to 100. Let's say instantly there's 100 big car boot sales. Issue fines to these organisers for letting them in. If they haven't got a place to sell it, they won't be stealing them because they've found this perfect place. We've got the right buyers, the right faces that want to buy them. They want it cheap. They know to go to the car boot sale, and every I can't even say, like, the people that are selling it there, they're not the right people. You know it's stolen. Tradespeople don't sell their tools, and I keep saying it.
Mate,
there's no reason to sell it. If you are selling corded and you're buying battery, I get it. I might go to the car boot sale and I see some corded stuff on the floor. It doesn't bother me because I think corded. Yeah. When it's a battery one, you've got no reason to sell it because the same drill will put a hole through the wall. Why would you keep buying it? And these people have got the same tools. They've got 20 of the same batteries, 20 of the same drills, 20 of the same grinders. Everything
this is
in
today
quantity.
In Aylesbury.
Look at that. It's clearly not someone's tools that they're selling, is it?
No, mate. That's not like, when you look there, just there alone, how many impact guns are there?
I need a new impact gun. Mine burnt out this weekend.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you look at how many bits and pieces, but the problem is, right, and there's a clear point there where you've just gone, I need a new impact gun. Because they're going cheap, people do it.
I would never buy that, though.
No,
never.
I'm not saying you would, but I'm just saying that's a good example because people sit there and go, I need an impact gun. They're 120 quid, 130 quid, roughly. I couldn't tell you lots of bought impact gun, but then they go to the car boots and that 30, 40 quid. So you're going there to keep it cheaper. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like, if you're a tradesman like us, if you're a tradesman, done your apprenticeship, come up through the ranks, and you're a tradesman, yeah, you're never buying that from a boot sale. Never in a million years are you buying second-hand
tools.
This is
why I said, no, the quality and the people that do go to the car boot sale and buy stuff are not the regular tradespeople that's been to college, that's understood everything. Because look, we buy the best stuff because we know we want to do a good job for a customer, right? We'll always buy the best quality materials. We'll buy the best tools because we want to make our life easy. The guys that are at the car boot sale, they don't give a crap. They don't do a job properly. You know the crowds because you've seen the faces. I don't need to say who they are. They are buying these tools, and for them, they don't really care because they've got nothing else. They've just got to go do a quick job. Yeah, it's all right. 10, 15 quid enough for them to do a small job, and they will buy those tools because those tools are expensive. The car boot sale that I'm talking about is Willow Farm. Big problem that we've got in the local area. Again, I've told the MPs about it as well. That car boot sale was 90% power tools, and they are selling two Makita drills and a grinder for £60. It comes with 3 batteries. You can't even buy one battery for £60.
No, you couldn't. You couldn't.
Right, just the battery alone is more than 60 quid. How can you buy 2 grinders and a battery? We've got video evidence of them selling it at that price. So explain something to me. Where is this all coming from?
Well, yeah, it's
our bloody vans. That's where it's coming from, isn't it? There's no fact there. There's no.
Yeah.
But digging
But
down
they've
in,
got the license, they've got the receipts to show and fool police as well. And again, their hands are tied. They can't do nothing once you show them the receipt. What, they're kind of going to sit there and argue with them.
And do you know what the annoying thing is, though, as well, is that it gets to a point where, like you said, the police can only hold it for so long because they get a number of storage fees, all of that malarkey. So then what they do is they pull it in police auction. If no one's going to claim it and they can't return it, they put it into police auction. Now, what these thieves are doing is they're going to police auction, they're purchasing, for argument's sake, just a pallet load
getting
for
it legit.
one. Yeah, but they're just, all they need to do is do the one pallet, and then every other stolen tool they get now, and the police go, "Where's your proof of purchase?" You go, "There you go, I bought it from you." And they go, "All right, so," and walk away.
See, that's wild.
But
Like,
you've only got to buy
And
that one
because it's
pallet.
Ollie in the chat says they need to
because it's
stop selling them
organised,
on.
the same receipt copies.
Yeah, but one
They need
of
to
the,
stop
the
selling
guys
them.
in the chat have just said the police need to stop selling them on. They need to destroy the tools. What's your opinion on that?
That's what I said. I would rather they destroy it, or rather they have a pool where they have all these tools. Because I've seen, that's just one compound I've been to. They've got loads of compounds where their stolen gear is. You got bikes in there, you got tools in there, you got every car parts in there, engines, DJ gear, speakers. The whole place is massive. It's the size of Wicks, full of tools. You could see, just look at the pallets that are you need a forklift, a special forklift to get those pallets down. That's how much tools they've stored in the storage. And they are not necessarily from tool theft cases where they've gone and run and caught somebody. These are tools that they've got from crimes that these criminals are doing. I don't know what they're doing, but when they confiscate everything. That includes power tools, and they've got tons of it. Why are they? They can make a pool, probably give them out to people, give them out to the victims that are of tool theft. That's what they should be doing in the short term, but in the long term, they need to put these criminals away because they have become a nuisance. It's a plague. And what it is, because they know they can get away with it, it will never stop. It's been going on for a long time. Theft in our country is a big problem. And, it's just, I don't see it improving unless there is some sort of deterrent for them.
Being that you're so immersed in this, like this is obviously something that's really taken you deep into this world. What is your top tips against, well, for one, protecting against getting your tools stolen, and for two, giving yourself the best option of recovery? What's your top tips?
First top tip is to get good van security. Look, regardless of the problem that we're having with theft, having no locks on your van and thinking you live in a safe area is not going to work. You need to get some sort of decent locks done. And when I say decent, not just a hook lock. Get one of those bar locks at the back, get an anti-peel thing, spend a little bit of money on security, get a decent alarm. I've got a Pandora alarm, and I tell everyone about this one because this one's got a key fob on it. It's in my pocket. If anyone comes in, even taps on my door, my alarm will go off, my key will start vibrating, and I will literally be out there looking at my van. So it's a good thing to have because these people take seconds to do your van in, literally. So it's a good thing to get a decent alarm, get decent locks done. I don't get paid by any of these lock things companies. I'm just telling you what the best is out there. Pandora is the best alarm to get. And when it comes to locks, I would say go for TVL. That's the ones I've got. They go for rigorous testing. They've got, I think the rating on Patchcam is the highest. TVL, look them up online. And honestly, go for their locks. And finally, I'd say mark your tools. It's very important to mark your tools because you're helping the police here, because they need that help. They need them to identify and put these people away, which you can't do because you're not doing your part. Do your part, at least have some peace of mind, and get a van vault. Put all your power tools in there. Make it harder for them to break into. If they have to break into your van, they might take a few fittings, but get all your power tools, get them in the vault. They need time to break into that. If you're not doing any of that, and you get broken into, then you just gotta
Asking for it, essentially. So
yeah, more for you at the end of the day, innit? If you're not protecting your tools and your equipment, which you know are at high risk, then you're at no help. You're at lost cause.
To get through my van, even I've gone to this extent of my OBD port doesn't even belong. It's in a lock. I've got all sorts of ear tags. I've got everything going in my van. When it comes to security, you got to get through my door. You got to get through my locks. You got to get through my vault. You got to get through so many things. And by the time you even touch the van, I'll be outside. You've got to do your thing to make yourself a bit more, relaxed that you've done the security that you can. Because you've got to think like a thief, right? If you're driving down the road and you see a van with all sorts of locks going around it, and they've got alarm stickers and you've got all that DNA stuff and you've got all the markings on the van, I wouldn't touch that van. I'd go for the one that's got nothing on it, and I know I'll be in and out of there in 2 seconds. And I'll go to the next van. They're doing rounds in cars. They're
Well,
so quick at it.
they just done my
You have to buy
father-in-law's
yourself that time. Yeah.
They just done
Just
my
buy yourself a
father-in-law's
bit of time.
firm in Stevenage. They had a T&B Construction. It is they've got I think he said there was roughly about 5 or 6 vans in a row just on the road. He said, but they'd just gone through and hit every single bloody van. They done. I think he said it was about 15 or 20 vans on one street. They just done in one whole hit like that. Just because I go bang, hit him, next van, bang, hit him, next van, bang, hit him, next van. Like
Years ago when I was working on a Tesco's down near Croydon, and I can't remember what trade it was, but they had a whole heap of tools in their van. And what they did is they pulled up next to the van in the tool thieves pulled up next to the van in their van in the daytime, opened up their side door, cut the lock out completely, and then robbed it all into the van and drove off. Like they'd done it like side to side.
yeah, because they're acting so. What's the word for it? Because you're acting so blatant now. The more blatant you are, the more casual you look. Do you know what I mean? You don't look so bad. Like when they done my van, we had about 3 or 4 people walking past them while they was doing it. It's all on the CCTV. Like
All you got to do is wear a high-vis vest, and you look.
mate, and that's what they're doing. They're
Now.
just turning up in a high vis now and just opening up, and they're so quick, and the incision's so small when they do open these vans 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
All right, you do get the unfortunate when they've bent the door open or
Yeah.
they've actually crowbarred it and gone mad. If you've got hook locks and stuff like that, which again you're deterring them, you're making it a longer process to get in your van, which is great. But for people that haven't done that yet, and they do and have a small incision, that 22 seconds it took them to get in my van, 4.5 minutes to empty it. Like,
Wow.
people don't even question you. When you're walking past, I was just casually going, morning, you're all right, lifting a chop saw out or taking a drill or whatever. You wouldn't even question them in the high vis. It's like those YouTube videos you see where they go, oh, you can get in anywhere with a ladder and a high vis. And literally, the geezer's got a ladder and a high vis. He walks straight into the cinema. He goes, it's got to look at screen 4, mate. He goes, yeah, no worries. You go. You know what I mean? Like, and that is proven packed. You can put a high vis on, rob someone's van, but the general public would look at you as you go, just a general builder unloading his van and get some tools out. That's
Do you know what I did?
about it.
See, on mine, I messed up quite badly, to be honest with you. And thinking back now, I've got an old Nissan Navara truck, and if you have a truck, you'll realise the tools at the back of your bed are almost impossible to get to. You have to climb in, clamber over everything. So I was watching some YouTube, and they built like a slider, so you can slide all your stuff, use it as a bench, all that sort of stuff. So I built a slider, just like a plywood one, slung it together, and it was great. And then I've got like a trifold lid on the back. It's not the greatest thing. It's not the most secure thing in the world. And what they did was they broke the tri cover, undone the tailgate, and just slid the whole lot straight into the back of the van. Literally, they took everything. They took my bag of rubbish that I'd slung in the back, my ladders, my boots, anything that I just slung in the back. The whole lot went. So it wasn't just literally they took everything, cleared it out completely. The only thing they didn't take was I've got like a tote with my like what I call my tools I can fix anything with. That
Your daily bag.
Yeah, which had my impact in. One of the things I do try to do is keep my power tools in the cab underneath the seat at the back, because I've sort of boxed mine off so you can lift up the seat and throw them in there. So it's out of sight and under the seat, so it's not obvious. So I had some of my power tools left, but literally they clean me out of everything, or like spare bits and pieces. Like for me, one of the things I like to have is like divider boxes, and I have all my bits in them. Like, I don't know, I can have sockets in there, switches, spurs, and all that. And each divider box has got my kit in it, all the bits and pieces. All of that's gone. Like, what are they gonna do with that? Literally, that's worthless to them, but it means the world to me. And that's all gone. All my bits and pieces, all my stupid drill bits. Like the other day when I had to go in and buy a bloody a 3.5 tap for back boxes, I was just like, I can't believe I've got to buy this now. And that's going to go on for months. That sad sinking feeling when you have to buy something you've already had again. It's just that's so shit. I mean, how did yours get robbed?
I was changing a tap in the customer's house. It was just in the kitchen for about half an hour. Come back out and they cut the whole door open, literally with a what do you call it, tin snips or something. The whole slam lock and just ripped the door and took everything. My power flash machine was gone. My analyzer was gone. My thermal imaging camera was gone. All my power tools that were Milwaukee, they all went. Just left the fittings and the ladders. Pretty much cleared the whole thing up. That
Describe
was
that feeling.
£8,500. People don't understand.
Describe
My
that
heart sunk. I
feeling
didn't
when
know
you
what to do.
see it.
I was shocked. Yeah, there's no mate. I walked up to my door. I couldn't believe I just had to look at it for about good 3-4 minutes, thinking that's not my van. I couldn't believe it. And yeah, it's just that fear that you've got after that lingers around for weeks. I couldn't sleep for the next 3 weeks. Every night I was waking up thinking, looking at the van, is my van okay? Is my van okay? And yeah, it's just horrible. The thing is, and what do the police do? Got a crime reference number over the phone. That was it. So they said contact your insurance. That's all we could do. And the case close the case. Second time it happened, they didn't get in my van because I had all the locks. They put a screwdriver on my side door. They bent the side door, trying to open it, see if it's locked. I think they got disturbed, and they just left it at that. But this is the thing: how far do you go? You get all your locks done. The damage they cause on your vans alone is a joke.
They can write
But
off a
I had a
van.
perfectly
Just
working van before.
look,
I'm driving a Transit Custom. I had a Custom before, white color one. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. Perfectly drove. I loved my van. Had all my vinyl stickers done. Then this ULEZ thing came up, and I had to sell that. Well, trade that one in as a scrappage scheme. And I bought this one. I paid another 24,000 on top for them to damage the doors. It's unacceptable, right? This is what I don't understand. The government's full focus is on ULEZ or putting a camera up or some zero emissions rubbish. They don't understand that zero crime is the first thing they need to work on. If this is the most important thing, that's where you need to spend the money. People need to feel safe on the streets. They've literally lost control of the streets. Everything
yeah,
is to do
I
with
agree
either
with
a
that.
ticket, a fine. Everything's 20 miles an hour. Can't go here, can't go there. I'm getting tickets on double yellow lines because I can't park. If I can't see my van, I'm not doing the job.
Yeah,
Simple as that.
yeah,
I've
I
lost
agree with that.
customers
I don't
and I've
take
lost
on work.
jobs.
I
Especially
won't.
if it's in a flat on the 4th, 5th floor. I've told the customer, have you got secure parking? No, we haven't. I'm really sorry, but you might have to find someone else. I cannot go to that job. I won't be able to focus because I worry about my van. And I've refused so much. That's an indirect hit on my finances as well because I've lost a job
See,
You
but
know
that's a
because
what?
I
very
You
can't
know what I've
focus.
started doing now, though. You say that because I got to the point where I wasn't taking jobs on either, and if I couldn't see my motor or the van or whatever I was in on that day, if I couldn't see it or it wasn't secured, then I wouldn't do the job because again, like Swim said, you're overthinking. You can't see it. What if my van gets done? You're not thinking on the job. Something go wrong, especially in your industry, Shmuel. Gas. If you forget to do one solder joint, that's a gas leak. That could kill someone.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So you
that's
can't.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, you can't be like that. So I've started hiring. I hire a labourer now, even if I don't need. Do you know what I mean? If I don't need a hand, I'd rather them sit in the van all day and keep an eye on the van while I'm out doing a bit
wow,
of jobs and
really.
that. Yeah, 100%. Because listen, I know I'm not talking about some little 14-year-old that's on like £20 a day or something. You know what I mean? I'll go and get like a 30-year-old labourer, right? Someone that I know can handle themselves if it hit the fan. But that 130 quid, 140 quid you pay for your labour or whatever it is a day, I'd rather do that because I'd swallow 130 or 40 quid rather than 8 grams worth of power tools. You know what I mean?
Yeah, do you know what? That's not like that seems extreme to me. That like when you
But you look
say
at
that, it
number
seems
facts.
extreme, but it makes sense, doesn't it? Like you can go and earn 300-400 quids, or you can turn down that.
Look, we all know,
Yeah,
all
no,
as
it makes
trades,
sense.
all we know as trades, if you have a bread and butter day, yeah, and we all have these bread and butter days, a bread and butter day is your most earned day, really, in theory. Yeah, you could go and earn easy anywhere from 300 to 800 quid in a day, depending on what hours you're doing, how much you graft, right? So if you weren't, for argument's sake, you done a bread butter day, you had 500 quid for the day, paying 130 quid for someone and still walking away with 370. Oh, sorry, yeah, 370 quid. It's you still well up.
Well, is that
it,
or turn down the job and walk away with nothing, can it?
And lose a reputation because then word gets around that you go, oh, they didn't take my job on because you couldn't see his van. How pathetic. You know what I mean?
People don't realise. Yeah.
They don't look at the bigger picture now. They don't look at the bigger picture. And again, it goes back to the bigger picture. When you look at it, if someone having their tools robbed again, mental health. I couldn't tell you how many people I know that are struggling when they've had their tools taken because they can't provide like I did. I mean, I'm stupid now thinking about it. I tried taking my life over something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's pathetic. It's sad. It's an easy excuse for me, but like an easy escape for me, but it's harder for everyone else. But in the same principle.
When you say try taking your life, like, what on earth did it, like, how did you get to that extreme level?
I lost everything. Lost everything. At the time, I split up with my partner. I moved into a hotel because I had nowhere else to go. Then all my tools got done in the van within 3 weeks later. So everything, I started my company. When I first got with my partner, that's when I started my company. So I've been working by myself in my own company and been with her for the exact same amount of time. And so when you sit there and you feel low and you think, 13 years of hard graft, aggro, arguments, fuck everything. God. You think, what's the point of being here? What is the point of being here? That's what I felt. I felt worthless. But no one's helping me. I've got trade insurance and tool insurance and that, and nothing like that was ever going to help me. And I thought, do you know what? Sod this life. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sod it.
It's all right. You can swear on this podcast. It's fine.
You know what I mean? Oh, you can. All right. Well, fuck this life. It got to this point where I was like that, and I found myself sitting at the top of a multi-story car park. I had my ass. I was on the coping stone, literally legs dangling off. So I was ready to go. The two things that saved me is one, having a fat ass. I couldn't get over the bloody hip of the coping stone. That was one of the things I couldn't get over. And then the second thing was at the time, my ex-partner, I got a text message from her. And my phone vibrated. I thought, I don't know why. I just looked at it. You know what I mean? And it's just a load of random letterage. And it was my middle child now, Albert. It was Albert texting just a load of random letterage. And that's what made me go, what the fuck are you doing, mate? Right.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You've got kids. They rely on you. Like, I jump off that building and I could die. I've got no more stresses, no more financial issues, no more worries, no more nothing, yeah? But my kids are sitting there going, why did Dad leave us? Was it me? What was wrong with Dad? Why is there's no reason? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no excuses and stuff like that. And from then, it's made me look at this picture in a bigger, massive picture. So yes, I stand by Schweb and stand by Trade United, and I will do everything in my power that I possibly can to help and try and make a change.
Because I don't think people quite get, like, it is such a monumental thing when these things happen, because you do feel like you've lost everything. Like, not to your extent, but so mine happened just after Christmas. Just before Christmas, I'd been knocked a whole heap of money on a job. We struggled through Christmas. Obviously, there's no work in January. There's bits and pieces, but there's no big work in January to get yourself out of a hole. And then I was on a quick job. Boom, my tools get done. I'm standing there thinking, what are we going to do now? Literally, like, the feeling of hopelessness and like, what the fuck am I going to do now?
You know, when you hear these people nowadays and they go, oh, I feel violated. When you sit there, that is a feeling of violation.
Mine was a little bit different. Mine was just like sheer hopelessness. I was like, I can't, like, I pride myself on being able to think my way out of a problem, yeah? I was like, what am I going to do now? Like, there is no solution to this problem. It's gone. It is gone.
And that is a whole vicious circle, in it, because you look at it and go, right, tools are stolen. I've got no tools to do the work that I've already booked in to earn money to buy tools. Does that make sense?
And the thing is, when you phone a customer to say, listen, I'm sorry, I've got to cancel today because my tools have been stolen, they half think you're lying. And it's like, oh, yeah, righto, mate. Do you know what I mean? And that's how you feel. And all these little things that connect, and you're just like the sense of hopelessness. And then I had the scrap nicked off my drive about 2 weeks later, and I was just like, "This is just not happening, right? This isn't happening." And it's like that. This is why I've like before. I sort of could sympathise with people who've had their tools done. I like before I had a tester stolen out of my car when I was working out of a car, and I was just like, that was a dumb thing, leaving it on the back seat, leaving the car open. That was dumb. Do you know what I mean? And I can survive about it. Like, but when you get legitimately done, cleaned out, you're looking in the back of your truck and you're like, there's nothing in here. They took everything. They took the rubbish. You're just
Yeah,
like, what?
that's low. Taking the
Like, it's just,
rubbish and all, like.
and you're just like, I don't understand what I'm meant to do now. Like, you almost have like a malfunction. If you use a computer, just like you've gone into blue screen mode, you just don't know what to do. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is just how connected you are to your tools as a tradesman. It doesn't have, I'm not saying you're connected to a specific hammer or something, but your tools have a real connection to
Oh
you.
no!
Oh, yeah.
The battery's going.
Your tools have a real connection to you, not individual tools, but the fact that you've got your kit that you can go and do anything in your trade that you need to, that's gone now. Your ability to survive now is gone. It's such a terrible
Yeah.
feeling. And
But
I
you
don't think
compare it
you,
to stuff. I mean, if you've got a student that's gone to university for 3 years, he's done all his work on this one laptop, right? He's done all his work. The whole 3 years of his work is in this one laptop. And when his laptop gets stolen, that feeling, right, for that student that's lost his 3 years of work, you can see how tools are so exported. That is exactly the same feeling. It's no different. Those tools, people don't understand that a bag full of just hand tools themselves, each screwdriver, each like wrench or pliers or whatever we use, 40, £50 per piece.
this is it.
It's very difficult to replace them. There's not no IKEA or B&Q tools that we're talking about. These are specialist tools. We've got to install a boiler. I need an analyzer. That analyzer is £2,500, the one I use. So you explain to me, how will I recover from that? Tool, I mean, if you've got tool insurance, they'll only give you a fraction of what it's worth. The rest you've got to cover. How many times would you claim? People have been broken multiple. You keep phoning them, they'll refuse your insurance at one point. For the next 5 years, you've got to list that claim that you've made a claim, and you
Yeah.
just goes on for the rest of, honestly, your entire working life. It'll be hell for you. There's just one event where somebody steals your tools. There's no coming back from it. It's difficult. And some people might be fortunate enough, might have the money to buy it again, but then again, there's apprentices, there's new people that are going into the business. They've found every penny, scraped everything to buy something, and you've taken it off them. They can't go to work the next day and they can't recover from it. It's a horrible thing for them to happen. And I think it's wrong.
And
Yeah,
the
and
thing
you're
is,
not gone.
then your peace of mind is fucked forever as well. Now, it's
Forever.
like, I
Even
literally,
now, after all this security, I still don't feel comfortable in a job.
no,
I'm always looking at the for my van.
I'm on a job in Luton at the moment. I've had to go subbing because of all the hits I've taken over. I've literally got to just go and get some consistent money in, build myself back up. And I'm in Luton, and like my truck is parked on the job. I am so fastidious now, locking everything, making sure everything's locked up, making sure any expensive stuff is in the cab, like just an extra layer of security. Like, and you're constantly checking out the window because Luton's like not the greatest area in the world. And you're like, if you're going to get done, you're definitely getting done in Luton. And honestly, it's
But I'll tell you
mate,
funny, I did a boiler install just last week, just to take all my tools in. You won't believe this, because it was on the second floor. I'll take a box, go upstairs, lock the van, then come back down. Then open the van, then take the box, then lock the van, then go back upstairs. That's because they're so quick at taking stuff that it's extra headache. Honestly, I
I've
hate
had
it.
clients sitting there and they're going to me. I go, do you mind if I bring tools in? And they go, yeah, of course you can, love. No worries. You bring your tools in, and they go, do you really need that much? And I say to them, no, probably only need 3 boxes. But the fact of it sitting in your house is more safer than sitting outside in my van. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, and it's like you almost seem neurotic doing that. But what they don't
It's
realise
not even a
is,
habit now. It is routine. Like, I get up in the morning,
Mate,
I unload all my tools back onto my van, do all that, and then when you get home, it's routine. You unload all your tools now. I wouldn't have done it before. I never did. Do you know what I mean? You just leave it on your van, like just park it on your drive. Who would drop the tools? Like, no one's that low. That's what you'd think in your head, wouldn't you? And then you get hit, and you're like,
you're gonna laugh.
shit. Like, this is fact.
You're gonna
now.
laugh
So
at this.
no, go on.
Well, last week I changed a thermostat in a customer's house, and I didn't want to go to this job because I know his parking was a bit crap because you've got all these permit holders. And I said I parked outside his house, and I knew that one's his house. He can't see my van from. I couldn't see it right outside. So I phoned him up inside. I was like, listen, I'll come and change the thermostat, but you have to sit and watch my van while I change his thermostat. I swear, I went upstairs, he went to the kitchen, put a stool down, and he was looking out the window from my van while I changed. It took me half an hour to do it. Only because I know that area is bad and I can't do that job. And he really wanted me to do it, help him out. I wouldn't get his heating back on. But how ridiculous that customers sitting there on a stool in the kitchen looking at my van constantly out the window while I'm doing this little job.
See, my tools got done in Ramsgate. Now, if I go to Ramsgate, I better be able to see my van, or someone's got to be watching my van. You just can't do it. Like you said at the beginning, you can't do a job properly if you're worrying about your stuff. And like at the moment, I've barely got any tools and I'm still worried.
It's a premeditation worrying as well, believe it or not. So not only when you turn up at the job, you're sitting there going, my van, is it safe? Is it blah, 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 blah. But if you've been hit, like you have yourself now, you'll start sitting there. If you've got a job booked in, you'll go in and go, do I really need to take all these tools? So then you'll sit there and go, I'll just drill, impact, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, blah, 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 blah. And then you start panicking even more now because in reality, you get to the job, shit happens, doesn't it? We all know that you're going to need a tool that you don't fucking bring. It's life.
Yeah, for sure.
And now you're sitting there going, I didn't bring that tool. I should have done this. And it just domino effects a lot more than just worrying about my van. Where's my van? You know what I mean? And this is why tomorrow is so important.
Yeah. Do we know what the punishment is? So say I become a tool thief tomorrow, right? I go and bang out some vans and stuff like that. I get nicked on Friday doing a van. I'll get caught red-handed by a police car. Boom, I'm nicked.
You probably get a couple of weeks. You probably get a couple of weeks.
Even that?
I don't think you'll even get that.
No, I don't.
When you look at that geezer, there was a geezer. I can't fit. I'll have to share. I'll send you the post. Right?
It'll be a fine. It'll be a fine and a slap on the wrist. And
there was a man.
They can't do it.
Bloke. It was put in the groups web. I'll have to find it. I'm pretty sure the way it was said was, guy was caught on CCTV stealing tools. Yeah, on CCTV, clear face. 5 minutes down the road, he was pulled over by the police and caught in his motor with the tools in it. Now you're banged to rights. Yeah, you're banged to rights. He got 2 weeks custodial sentence.
Yeah, but did he have a rap sheet before that? Because that seems quite harsh. Like if you're first time offender getting caught doing tools, I don't see you getting any time in prison.
Well, you should.
Yeah, I'm not saying you shouldn't.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I'll guarantee you've got to do it 2 or 3 times before you're seeing a jail cell.
Well, yeah. the law says that it's 13 years for handling stolen goods, right? How can they haven't got the space for people to put it in there. No. We've got bigger crimes that they're trying to deal with at the moment because, as I said, they've lost control of the streets. So you've got bigger issues, stabbing, shooting. What the hell's going on? Everything wrong that you can think of is going on. And they haven't got enough space for them, let alone tool thieves. This is probably way down the priority list. It's not even seen as an issue for them because they've got bigger things to deal with. And this is what people don't understand, is the funding for the police. There's not enough of them in the road. They're cutting back on them and we've got a problem as it is, and it's getting even worse. Where's all these cutbacks coming from? Where's all this money going? ULEZ cameras, zero emissions, get new vans, funding for the vans. This is where all the money's being spent.
It's
and
wild.
They are not thinking the right way. Crime has to be dealt with straight away. That's the number one thing. There has to be penalties. Why is it this is not happening under other countries? All right, theft is everywhere, but not at this scale. Not at this scale where school kids can even run in an Apple store and just clear it up.
We are the only country.
Which way are we headed? Which way are we heading?
We are the only country having these tool theft problems, though, in theory, aren't we? Because you don't hear about it in France, Germany, Switzerland. You don't hear about it like that in these other countries.
You make an interesting point, though. you do make an interesting point when it comes to the fact that the police have lost control of the streets, because you're right. People are getting robbed for Rolexes. People are walking along on their phones, getting them snatched out of their hands.
Thank you.
It's not the
She's a golden
police's
girl,
fault, and I
Rixie.
say that it's not the police fault. It's the funding, the government, the lawmakers. It's their fault. They don't understand. They're sitting behind tables, you know, in an office trying to make a law. Is not work. Sit down with tradespeople, see what the issues is, design a law that actually works and implement it. You've got the laws in place, nothing's getting implemented. All money is being spent at the wrong places. I don't want to get into politics, but for me,
No, but you're not
tool
wrong.
theft is a massive issue. Massive issue. And I'll say everyone would agree with it. Affects businesses, affects individual and mental health. Even public is fed up of it. Everyone is sick of it. They are taking cars off your drives. You've seen it all. We don't have to explain what's going on around us. But look, in particular, tool theft, for me, is a big thing, because yes, theft, probably there's no solution to this at the moment until there's proper laws and everything getting implemented. But this, for us, for work, it's got to stop. Our fucking work is mental, it's physical, it's draining. We don't waste time away from our families. We don't know what time we're going, what time we're coming home. We're helping people out on the roads, streets. There'll be no schools, there'll be no hospitals without us. Everything relies on tradespeople. And if they can't protect them and give us that thing, I think they've got a big thing coming. And you'll see tomorrow when they turn up in the square, this is people fed up. This is people that are sick of it. And that is what you'll see, the true depiction of that tomorrow in Parliament
See,
Square.
I think I'm truly gutted that I can't come tomorrow. I've got to work to
You might
pay.
change your mind.
Mate, do you know how much I would love to come tomorrow?
There's a seat free
But
in the truck if you want to join.
This
I'd come in my own
podcast,
truck.
let's go.
I'd come in my own truck. I just can't. I can't take the time off. I need the money. We're in dire straits. My thing is, right, you've put together this event, yeah, and you put together this movement, this Trades United movement. You're doing great things. What's the backlash you've had? Are you having doubters? Are you having haters? Because I know years ago, I started a union for electricians, for subcontracting electricians in London, working on agency predominantly. And before I knew it, I was one of the most hated sparks in the industry, because everyone thought I was having it off. I didn't get paid a penny. I didn't care about the money. I did it because I was sick of being treated like shit. But before you know it,
Yeah.
you get people trying to bring you down. Have you experienced that?
I experienced that today. It's the last day. Well, tomorrow is a protest, and even today, had it in a group chat. I don't want to mention names on here, and they questioned my integrity when it came to raising money for charity. Look, I raised £17,500, right? I was struggling to raise money, and I was going to use all that money towards the stickers. The funding was going to go on all these vans, because they're not cheap to put vinyls on, and all these slogans, and everything comes at a cost. Press releases I've paid for. We needed to raise the money. I raised the money. When I got to 10,000, all these companies got involved, and they said, we'll pay for your stickers free of charge. So all that money I raised, I said, okay, I'll put it in charity, and I will go to On the Tools. They work with Band of Builders, they work with Construction Sport, maybe other charities. Somebody I trust. I said, I'll give all the money there, and that they can distribute it within. It was tradespeople money. It should go back to the trades. That's how I see it. People came up to me and said, Shweb, you deserve it. You should keep the money. I said, no, I'm not keeping it.
No.
I had people that said, why don't you use it for another one of these events? Maybe just keep the money there. I said, no, I don't want it. I'll tell you why. If I was to buy myself a van, they'll point the thing at me and say, look, I fucking bought a van. If I went on a holiday, so that's where you're spending the money. I don't want it. I'm not interested in it. I've done 8 months of hard work to get where we are now with tool theft. We've got police working with us. We've got MPs involved. We're getting somewhere. No company pays me for this, my time, right? If they can't make an effort to turn up, they've done absolutely nothing to do anything. All they have to do is turn up. I've done all the hard work. I've done all the running all around. I haven't stopped in 8 months. But there are those kind of people that will point fingers, and they really pissed me off today. I'd say it now. I don't want to say their names, but look, it shouldn't be that way. You should understand you've not been involved. The ones who talk are the ones that don't put a penny in, that don't make any effort. All they want to do is put you down last minute, because now it's come to a point where they can't control the jealousy anymore, that we've got 500 people coming tomorrow. It's horrible. It's big names that are doing this. And as I said, I'll deal with all of them in my own time. But right now, it's not the right time to speak about this. But all I'm saying, yes, it does happen. It does happen. And it's soul destroying, because you think, you know what? I did this for nothing. I don't want money. I did it all because I believe in something. I've got my head in the right place. I fought everyone that was against it. I got where we are now. And if you're going to do something like that and drill holes in a boat that's already sailed, you're the one who's got the problem. And
I agree with you,
I
man.
say clear, I have no problems in shaming them, because look, they need to understand there's a fine line. You cannot mess with someone who's done a lot for the trades. When it comes to tool theft, I have not stopped for 8 months. You've got no reason to even doubt or question me. Money is going to go to charity. I declare my bank statements. I declare all the money that's in and out of my accounts. When it comes to the funding, everything is in black and white on my page. Even the last time, it's still on my page. Even next time, this time, every money that I've spent towards the convoy will be declared with my bank statements. I don't want anyone to point any fingers at me that he used that money for anything. I don't want a penny of it. I've said it before I started raising money, and I'm saying it now as well. And I think if they can't appreciate that and they can make stupid comments like that, they definitely have got a
Do you
problem.
know what? One of the things that Joe Rogan says is don't read the comments, because it's always going to be negative and there's nothing you can do to ever change it, and it's never going to stop. So just, mate, continue doing what you're doing. I think what you've done here, I didn't even know about this until I saw some bits pop up on one of the group chats. And do you know what I mean? I was like, man, I wish I could get involved in that. I really want to come tomorrow. I literally can't. We're in such dire straits. I've got to go and do what I've got to do to earn some dough. But what I'm saying is, without people like you spearheading this, nothing's going to change. And I've had, like, when I put it in my group chat, a few people were saying, oh, it's just vanity, blah, blah. And I'm like, no. This is giving the people who have been victims of this nonsense the ability to go and have their moment. Like, because you feel so hopeless, there's nowhere to take your frustrations out on. Like, you've just got to sit there and be sad about it. This gives people the opportunity to go and feel empowered to go and take a stand against this tool theft, go and make themselves known, go and make some noise about it. Do you know what I mean? And it empowers people to feel good about themselves again after being violated and having their shit robbed by scumbags. At least you can go and flex tomorrow with a load of like-minded people. It's going to be a great time. It's going to and it's going to be a powerful time for everyone who's been a victim of tool theft to go and have their moment. I think it's a fantastic thing. I think you've done a great service, and everyone involved helping push this to the next level. You know, you need to give yourselves a pat on the back, because without people like you doing these
It's
great
incredible.
services, where will we be?
Honestly, it's amazing because I've always said it from the start. I still say it now. It wasn't my petition to start with. I was just a voice. I raised something up. All these people that got involved, it's all their work. If they didn't get involved, if they didn't take part, even the first protest, even the petition, even signing here, there were people printing leaflets and going around Screwfix. If it wasn't for those people, nothing would have happened. And they're all tradespeople. Most of them are victims of tool theft.
Of
And
course.
exactly, it affects everyone. They understand it because they've been a victim. It's the ones that it hasn't happened to. They don't take part. They don't care. They don't think it's ever going to happen to them. I think they're wrong. I once thought this would never happen to me.
Same.
Yeah, but when it does, everything is going to be played back to you, and you'd understand why I was here and why I was talking about this stuff.
I think it's amazing. What's your final thoughts on tomorrow? What's your message you're going to try and get out there?
Main message is obviously for the government to do something about tool theft, right? We've got MPs there. They are trying to pass a bill in government. I've told them to make a few changes to that to actually include breaking into tradespeople's vans and all that kind of stuff. It's got to be a really strict thing. So they'll be delivering a speech in Parliament Square. So we've got them involved. This time, it's not just tradespeople. It's actually companies and corporates that have actually got involved. They will be turning up there with their fleet of vans. You're going to see a big show in London. And hopefully, BBC is actually covering the whole footage as well. So you'd probably be playing live on BBC One as well, the news time.
Wow.
So look, everything's happening around it. There's just so much traction now. And it can't go unnoticed. As I said, always say there's a fine line between the government ignoring something, and there's a fine line where they can't when it goes to a certain point, especially when companies that are paying huge amount of taxes to this government are getting involved. They're turning turning up in their vans and saying, what the hell is going on? I even was going to approach DPD, Amazon, all these companies at that scale to say, you need to come out because they're breaking into your vans as well. It's the same
for
bloody
sure.
faces.
Well,
Right.
there's pictures of geezers now in Amazon vans. They park their van up and they leave all the doors wide open just so you don't break into them. Just so you can see it's an empty van. That's sad. We should be in a life like that.
You know, TVL, because I went there to get my locks done, they had, I think, just in there, because they do all the van locks, they had, I think, about 20 or 30 vans. I think every week turn up DPD vans getting broken into. So just imagine how bad this has become. I don't know what is going on behind the reason why they're not dealing with theft. It could be a lot. There could be something behind it, which is just allowing it to happen. It could be anything. As I said, we're not going to get into politics, but just leave you with a thought that if they wanted to do something about this, they would have by now. And I really hope they notice that people have started to notice this problem. And tomorrow when they come out, they actually think twice before letting this carry on.
It's going to be a military operation with pride and noise. You think we're joking?
It's good.
I'm gutted.
I'm hopeful. I'm really, really hopeful something is going to be happening tomorrow. But as I said, I don't think they'll be able to handle the trade tomorrow in Parliament Square.
They'll realise the last process we done, it made noise. It made people think about it. This time, it's going to make them have to do something about it.
Yeah, I think they will. They've got to. Something. I really hope a spokesman from their side does come out and address, that what they're doing about tool theft, and saying something like, well, "Yeah, we're getting more police officers." It won't be a good enough answer for me. It's got to be something along the lines that they are going to deal with tool theft properly.
Boys, it's been a powerful podcast. I'm so glad there's people out there doing what you're doing. I'm glad that I can add some momentum to your push with this podcast. You're welcome to come on here and share your message anytime you need to. The door's open for you guys in the future. I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Podcast. We're out.
See you later.